That was fine. Thank you.
Thank you. is 5744 Dunsmuir Avenue. The building Mr. Arth is referring to in this characterizing was the annex building. The glass was broken on Friday, November 2nd. We immediately measured the glass, placed an order. The glass should be here, hopefully, I was hoping today, but if not, Thursday or Friday. We responded immediately. It's, even though it's not required by law, by putting tempered glass in. But it's special glass and it had to be ordered. As far as my other buildings, they're in good shape. And Mr. Arth is quick to point out the problems with my buildings, but he doesn't, his buildings also could be easily, they're not perfect. So it is being done. I want to thank the police department who was absolutely extraordinary. We found out about it 1 hour later. I think it was, we had somebody in custody, or it was pretty phenomenal.
Yeah, they were arrested within a couple hours.
Within a couple hours. You did a good job. And it was a community outreach, so I thank you, David. It was a transient who broke it. So thank you.
Thank you.
Alex Brendel, Shasta Avenue, for $50 plus the cost of 2 sheets of plywood, 1/4 inch thick, I'll board up the window.
Thank you.
Welcome back.
Thanks, Dave. Hello, everyone. Allison Lashevsky, River Avenue. It's good to see folks. I'll be brief. I've been up here before. I always think when I'm driving back and forth to the Bay Area that it would be great to have a sign in the Vacaville area to point folks in the right direction to Dunsmuir, because it's just where the 505 meets the 80 is a really great advertising spot. So I just did a little bit of research. There's actually a company that puts signs on the 505. They're called JC Graphics. And the average cost of a sign right there at that intersection is about $2,200 for a 4-week period. You could also put digital billboards in. I'm not too sure about the cost of that, but I think you'll get a lot of people's attention. And I think one council member, maybe it was you, Matthew, spoke about like a sign at one point with like a mileage marker or something that says like 100 miles to Dunsmuir. And I think it would just spark people's interest. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Is there anyone on Zoom? If you do want to make a public comment on Zoom, please go to the reactions tab and you see raise your hand. All right, seeing no one, and seeing no one else in the room, I will close public comment this evening. And we'll move on to council and staff comments, starting with Sergeant Ortiz.
Thank you, Mayor. Mr. Juarez, I was hesitant to respond because I didn't want to take from your time. I really have a predetermined amount, so I didn't want to, I kind of felt like I didn't want to waste more of your time by not answering. So if you feel like I stole your time, I'm sorry about that.
Oh, no, you were great. And it was nice to compliment you. I was really surprised to find out that you actually had somebody next to you in 2 hours.
So
This is a public interaction, I know, but let's.
okay, so the crime overall, with the exception of the damage to Mr. Juarez's building, it's been fairly low. We are in between seasons, the summer season and the ski park's not quite open yet. We are averaging, it seems, a DUI each week, driving under the influence arrest. With the holidays coming, please be responsible. Please don't drink and drive. The guys are actively out looking for impaired drivers and arresting. That's a good thing. With the weather, we're starting to see freezing temperatures. Nobody wants their loved one being killed in a DUI collision, especially around the holidays. So I just asked that everybody, please, you know, if you've been drinking, think it over and find a right, do something different. Okay.
City Manager Reeves?
Mayor and Council, it's, as fall is upon us and winter's around the corner, we've been really active, doing, cleaning storm drains, tree trimming, we've been out and about, I think they were up on, Prospect today and Olive and, where else, a couple other places cutting trees. We just, did the tank closeout for our new downtown tank. And so that money should be coming from them shortly, well, relatively speaking. And so now we're in a 1-year warranty period. We had the construction for Brandstetter over at Apple was completed, and the roads are great. So then let's see, the sewer project for the collection system that starts on November 18th. So I have already gotten questions. There's a lot of markings going around out on the streets. That's just them doing their due diligence before they start the project for locates. We've done some security upgrades after the vehicle theft at the wastewater treatment plant, and some of those are still in progress. The U.S. Forest Service for the shoot fire, they were, how many days were it in our farm? 12, no, a little more than that. It's a little more than 2 weeks they were up there, so the airport was shut down. We just recently reopened that, and it's back up and running.
We got paid.
Yes, and we got paid like $6,000 or something. So, and speaking of the $6,000 that we made from that, that will pay for our airport project for the taxiway improvements grant. So they kind of shifted around the priorities on that after conversations with FAA and what they would accept and not accept as part of our ASIP. But they have moved the grant from a 90-10 to a 95-5%. So our share of that will be even less than the 5% because the state will pay for a portion as well. So our share is like $5,000 to get almost $1 million. So
That's like Carol Ford, I'm sure I'm excited to hear that.
yeah, so that's pretty exciting. So we're going to be moving forward with that. So we'll should have bid package going back to the council here fairly shortly. Hopefully December, I think. And then we have sand and sandbags now available as we're getting into the wet season. We've seen a couple storms so far, but they are in front of the steam engine. We put blocks there, and it's underneath the tarp. So if anybody needs sandbags, they're located there. This week we went to the river with the wastewater treatment plant, and that should be kind of busy. Everything else is.
Question.
Yes, sir.
The former Lions building,
Yes.
when will the demo begin on that?
We're doing, so on that, we're doing the testing will be done tomorrow for the asbestos and lead and all of those requirements. So once those results come back, then I have them working up a bid package for demolition and site work. And so.
May I go in there Saturday and retrieve the Christmas decorations of the Rotaries?
There's nothing left in there, is there?
I don't believe there's anything in there.
Where are the plywood cutouts, like the candle, the cat, and the wreath that were done by the 6th grade class, like Shannon Dewey did it in the 6th grade. There's a Kalis Dewey, Shannon Dewey, they signed them as they built
They
it.
get moved into the.
Nope, they were behind something in that building.
So you're more than welcome to go look.
Cool, either Saturday or a day. Because I sure hate to lose that part of it. You know, it's history.
We were in there a couple weeks ago, so I don't.
I was told that you gotta look for them, they're behind something. So, I mean, if they're in there, I'm going to retrieve them.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Good. Any other questions? We'll be bringing forward a I'll do some, bring more project updates on the next council.
By the way, Dustin, there was no reason not to park that there anymore. I was curious about the whole thing.
Yeah, I wasn't sure about your question.
No, I was just curious. I thought somebody had moved in there is what I was thinking.
Oh, okay.
No problem at all. Park there if you want.
Councilmember Mackenzie?
Be very brief, just to let everyone know, we do have a Veterans Day event on Monday, November 11th at the Eagles Lodge, starting at 9, and then we will go over to the Dunsmuir Cemetery at 11:30. We'll be walking from the Eagles Lodge over there and then back from the cemetery to the Eagles Lodge for free hot dogs and an essay contest, so everyone is invited. There's flyers, I believe, Mr. Arp has provided some on the podium, if everybody can make it back on Monday.
And that's 9 a.m.
9 a.m., yes.
Rain or
9
shine, right?
Yes, 9 a.m. To 11 for the salute, and then at 11, at 11 o'clock, we'll walk over to the cemetery for about a 45-minute little ceremony that we did last year, so. Everyone's invited, you don't have to be a veteran to participate. That's it.
Councilmember Presley?
While we're talking about that, okay. We have taken great strides and efforts. And I'm very proud and extremely honored to be part of the Dunsmuir Rotary. There was a time a few years ago when I got a phone call. It was like 3:30 in the afternoon. I'm still working, you know, but it was a frantic phone call because it was raining and the flags were out. I put the flags out earlier that morning for Veterans Day. And it was raining. So I had to go get the flags, put them away. I had to put them in a way where they were dry, and then I had to wrap them up and put them away for storage so they didn't get moldy. So good news, folks. Nobody needs to call me in 3 or 2 or whatever, because we have water resistant and weatherproof flags. So all the flags that you see out, that I will put out Friday morning, and I will leave them out till Tuesday morning, rain or shine. They're wind resistant, waterproof, and they gave me a box yesterday of 20 more flags that I will put out for both entrance. I guess you could say there's 2 entrances to the cemetery. So if you find a flag strapped to your fence or your tree, bear with us until we get some places put in where the flags can be installed permanently. But with the help of the Rotary, we're going to make the Veterans Day thing a little bit more festive with some nice brand new flags, and they're waterproof. They're waterproof. So nothing wrong, but we're good. So just I wanted to say that. I also want to congratulate the 2 people. You have 2 new city council members. It's me and Bruce. We're done. I've been here 12 years, 3 terms. It's been an honor. This is one of the greatest things that I've ever had the honor to be part of. But there's things in my life that have taken a turn, and I went to France, and I'm going back. It's time for, well, of course, we're staying in France. My eyes have been open. There's other places in Dunsmuir. And I want to work on my business, and I want to work on my relationship with my girl and some properties that we have overseas. So don't think that I hope in no way you guys are thinking that I'm bailing on you. I'm still going to be here supporting you, and if you need me to come up like Peter does, come to that podium and put y'all in checkmate. Keep in mind, I know where the podium is. I got 3 minutes. So I'd be honored to join the keep them in checkmate ranks, Peter.
The resistance.
The resistance, okay? So I just wanted to say that, and again, thank you for believing in me this long. I remember one time they called me the biker dude, okay? So the biker dude's very happy and honored to have been and served you people. So I turn it over for Sir Cross.
Is this your
Go ahead.
Is this your last meeting? No, I don't.
No, I think we got one more or something.
Yeah, so.
How about the clock?
Okay.
Councilmember Deutsch.
Yeah, I realize, I think, when Michael came on, it was on the first meeting in December, so that's what I'm assuming, so I assume we'll be back, got one more chance to observe here. A couple things I want to bring up. First of all, on the 21st, we do have the What's on Your Plate. If you're unfamiliar with that, that was an event that I was involved with starting actually with Andrea here. I know where she is, back around 2017. When Steve and Brian came to town, we kind of morphed it into a juncture where every year they give out turkeys and hams. So for the past, I think, 7 years now, that's been going on. And it's really exciting because for all the people that are served by the Resource Center, all the people in need and struggling, this is the one opportunity for them, besides getting a little meal from the high school, is at the high school, 5:30 to 7. They also get a chance to learn about all the different programs, sign where they need to sign, make sure all the different organizations get their funding, et cetera. So that'll be going on the 21st at the high school. And then also the Rotary will be providing childcare for that. There'll be raffle prizes, complimentary dinner, and prizes. Yeah, so that's what's going on, and it's something that I really look forward to every year. The next thing is, on part of Rotary, this coming Sunday, Rotary's having its craft fair at the community center. Do you know the hours? I don't remember.
I think it was 9.
To 2 or something like that. Was it?
Yes, Saturday. Now, if you guys don't know about the craft fair, they got a baked potato, bring in their baked potatoes, go like, oh.
Anyway, and then the last thing I'd like to comment on the Veterans Day, and just to be clear, I know I have to get to a haircut before Monday morning, put on my uniform. But in any case, I do want to commend the team that's been working on this the second year. I think it's been led by Peter Arth, with the able support of Julia Lucchese. And I know Dustin Reef, like myself, has been reading essays. And then there's also Len Forum, and I'm sure I missed other people, but it's really been an honor to see the community step up and take it on themselves. It's not led by veterans themselves, so it really is kind of a natural, and I appreciate that. So look forward to having everybody there, and thank you all. That's all.
I want to add on your comment about the 21st first. So I did see Steve and Brian yesterday. They said they received 120 turkeys. So
There's turkeys there, and to let people know, and if they're need a ride or something, we do have a community out there that really struggles. They may not be able to be disabled. If you know somebody that would qualify because of their low income, reach out and help them and get them a turkey or a ham, and that's a good time to kind of celebrate in your way the holiday spirit. Thank you.
Let me reiterate, you can come out and get a nice meal provided by the high school and go home with a turkey for your Thanksgiving or your Christmas dinner. So come on out. That's the 21st. What time is that at, Bruce?
5:30 to 7.
Where's that at, Bruce?
High school.
You got that? At the high school, 5:30. I'll get some grub.
Vice Mayor Ryan.
Seeing like the agenda tonight, I will.
I've just got a couple quick comments. Vice Mayor Ryan and I attended the Cal Cities Conference. A lot of good sessions. I know I went to a couple on city finances. They were pretty good. I also went to the rural cities conference. And that one was really interesting. One of the deputy insurance commissioners for the state was there. The big topic of that session was insurance prices and what the state is currently trying to do to get those under control. So hopefully we see some of those efforts that they're putting forward from the insurance commissioner come through June.
Michael, how many people were in that room?
How many people were in the rural cities?
Were in the rural cities.
Unfortunately, not that many.
That's-
There was only about 25 or 30 of us in that room.
It was 30 last time.
Then the other thing I just want to do is I really want to deeply thank everyone who ran for any office in this election. It's unfortunately, there have been many years where we're short on people who want to run. So therefore, it means a lot to me when someone wants to go out and try to serve for elected office. All right, and with that, we will move on to committee reports, which I don't believe we have any in that this last meeting. No, okay. So with that, we'll move on to approval of the minutes for October 3rd, 2024.
Make the motion to approve the minutes.
Second.
All right, it's been moved and seconded. All those in favor? Aye. All right, minutes approved. That will move on to the consent agenda, which today consists of 6 items. The check register for 9/25 through 11/1. The item B, summary vacation of civil right of way at Willow Street and Shasta Avenues, resolution 2024-16. Item C, resolution 2024-17, certifying the fiscal year 24/25 calculation of the adopted public safety budget meets the maintenance of effort requirements. Item D, accept third-party report analyzing special assessments for fire equipment purchases and expansion of city sewer services. Item E, resolution 2024-18, accepting Department of Forestry and Fire Protection agreement for services between CAL FIRE and Leadville Fire Department. And item F, approved budget amendment increasing cost revenue up to the county provided amount.
Make the motion to adopt consent agenda.
Second.
All right, it has been moved and seconded. All those in favor?
There's
Roll call.
there's
Yeah, roll call because of the one, yeah. All right, we need to do some roll call.
Councilmember Casey.
Aye.
Councilmember Brian.
Aye.
Councilmember Choi.
Aye.
Councilmember Kessler.
Aye.
Mayor Carroll.
Aye. All right. Approved. With that, we'll move on to item number 9, public hearing. Tonight we have one public hearing. Close out a community development block grant and update progress of 20 CDD CB2-3-00050 grant program provided by the California Housing and Community Development Authority. And you have to read.
All right, Mayor and Council, so this is just part of our, part of what we have to do the closeout, so what that's everything, or Brandy.
I'm ready with Great Northern Services. I'm the community development manager.
Brandon Gaddy, I'm the Director of Business Development with Siskiyou Economic Development.
So as part of, as Justin said, part of the requirement is to hold a public hearing to update the residents on the progress of the that program as 20 CDBG, CB2350, and also to have the public submit comments about the program. I'll go over the progress and status of the program, the results of the program, and how much the funds are remaining. The budget that was expended was $459,320.55. We're going to disencumber $157,014.63 of the $603,000 budget. So what the program was, is that HUD provided COVID relief funding for all the jurisdictions, non-entitled jurisdictions throughout the state of California. And all the jurisdictions decided to pull their funding together and do a food assistance program and assistance payment program. Mount Shasta sort of took the first part of the program, and then Dunsmuir had some extra funding, so they picked up the second part of the program. Quentin here did the grant administration of it. He did all the reporting and everything in my book. And then Great Northern Services, we essentially implemented the program. So we created the applications, we did the outreach and the marketing. We distributed the applications. We reviewed the applications, approved the applications. It was not a self-certification process. We did have to certify that that the residents were low income. What it helped with, $3,000 of either and or a mortgage payment, a rental payment, utility payments, which could have been a broadband service, and or energy assistance, so electricity or heating fuel, those type of services. And it wasn't $3,000 short, it was $3,000 each. So out of the whole, the two programs combined, we served 653 households for a total of 1,641 people at least one time. There were a total of 2,410 payments made for a total of $1.3 million. So it was a very successful program.
Right.
Question, what is the income level? How is that? Is it standard or standard level?
There's a standard level and it increases each year. So, and I do not remember what those levels
So
are.
I'm interested, would first of all call you and ask about that.
Yes, yeah. So if somebody was over income or we weren't sure about what their income was because we didn't really like what they were submitting to us, we would follow up on that and then we would approve or deny that application. We didn't have a lot of denials. Most of the people that applied actually income qualified.
Was it close to what you expected, or was it good news, bad news?
We had a good turn.
Good. Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, good job.
There, I have handouts for, the members in the council chambers that if they would like the handouts. There is a table in there that breaks down, how many, households were served for each jurisdiction. We did sort of have that. If we didn't know, then we put them in the county. Some people said they were in Dunsmuir. They said they were in the city, went to Dunsmuir, we assumed they were in Dunsmuir. Whether they were or not, we didn't really really verify that. It wasn't part of the requirements. We did that just as a service to seeing how they kind of broke out and what the different levels of assistance were that the different jurisdictions pulled to this program. And so what Dunsmuir, how much Dunsmuir, the Dunsmuir numbers were 139 households were served with 374 people at least one time. There were 524 payments for $308,000. That's average of about $2,200 a household.
Again, good job. Good job, guys.
You want to add anything?
Thanks
to
for
that?
helping the people.
Yeah, sure. So some of the things that made this program work was definitely getting everybody in the county on board together into singular programs. So I don't know if you all remember in 2020, but HCD sort of gave each jurisdiction an allotment of funds. And those funds on their own wouldn't have been enough to stand up a program. So it was a lot like herding cats to get all 10 jurisdictions in Siskiyou County to get all together on MOUs, which I actually am in the process of updating because of some of the extensions of the date. So I just want to send a big thanks to all the staff who were involved. I know at Dunsmuir, Dustin, Blake, Wendy, and Manya all had a hand in this program. It was an absolute mountain of paperwork for several years. It was not a heavy task, but as Brandon said, it was really not a lot of people. Due to some of the, the funding constraints and the limits, we weren't able to get it all spent down, but we got the vast majority. The fact that we were able to get $1.3 million out the door, was no minor task. And so the folks at Great Northern, they absolutely did a wonderful job working with all the clients who benefited from this program. And at the end of the day, really glad we were able to step in and to make this happen. So thank you to the city of Dunsmuir for serving as the grantee, as the fiscal agent, where all the finances go through. I know it has an impact on the city with things like single audits and whatnot, but this made a huge difference for Siskiyou County. So thank you.
It sounds like you need to applaud a few more people.
Thank you so much, both of you, for working on this and this program out. I'm just wondering, as we close out, and I understand that time's over for this particular funding source. Have you guys learned a lot from this program? Do you think if funding became available through a crisis or just regular funding for this in the future, is this something that could be brought back to life?
It's something that can happen in the future. It wouldn't have the same impact because it is nearly impossible to pool all the jurisdictions' funds. So if one jurisdiction wanted to do something like that and help those within that jurisdiction could. That limit right now, as of 2024 NOFA was 300,000, so you wouldn't have that huge, I mean, there was a, as we all know, COVID, I mean, they were dropping money, right?
Yeah.
You know, it's ridiculously amount of money. So it wouldn't have as large of an impact, and, I don't know if it would be as a great a service because of the limited amount of funding. And Great Northern also does the LIHEAP program, which helps with energy assistance. It no longer helps with water. I know that's a big issue. A lot of residents need help with water or rent. So if you would want to do something like that in the future, you might want to target and not do the whole gamut. You might want to do rent. I probably wouldn't do mortgage. Probably a rent or a water program would probably be the best thing for you, but it takes a lot of work on our end.
Something you learn a lot of lessons with.
Just some other things to consider, it took us over a year to even get the contract from when we originally submitted the application for the fund, so they were by allotment. So the big challenge for this program at every level was capacity, at the state level, at the local level. And so just getting it through was a real painstaking process.
Thank you.
Just really quick for Brandy, does Great Northern sort of still offer any like rental deposit programs or anything like that? Okay, because I know in the past that has been offered.
Yeah, and that would be through jurisdictions.
Okay.
Yeah, and we've never as an organization, happens through CDBG jurisdictions. Yeah.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
Thank you.
You guys rock, thank you.
All right, with that, thank you very much. With that, I will open up this public hearing to public comment. Table rules before, 3 minutes, 30 seconds. Please limit your public comment to this particular item. Go ahead.
Well, I'm working on my letters and what I'm hoping he brings to the city of Dunsmuir are two things. One is the restoration of an economic development committee. The whole committee structure for the city is pretty much gone dark except for the finance committee. I think if we're going to breathe life into downtown revitalization and Cosmont report, we need an economic development committee that actually work on public-private partnerships. It will take outreach and money to turn downtown around. The other is to have a functioning loan committee that meets regularly, just like the economic development committee. Housing is a crisis yesterday, housing is a crisis today, housing is a crisis tomorrow. If we can marshal our assets and community support, we can make great progress next year, but you all have to step up. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Seeing none, I will close public comment on this item, and we need to have a resolution for this or anything? No, please don't. All right, and with that, I will close the public hearing. And once again, thank both of you so much for all this work. Thank you. All right, and with that, we'll move into item number 10, old business. We have one item today, review and approval of human resources consultant service contract. Right,
Mayor and Council, so this item was started originally on September 19th, and was asked to come back just based on a few concerns with the contract. I hope we were able to address those concerns of the council. So we had we placed this into our standard professional services agreement, and with the scope of work. One of the things that is not been outlined by the council is a budget for human resources over for the contract. It's an hourly basis. So if there is, there should be a discussion about like an not to exceed amount and what that looks like.
Okay. With that, I want to jump in right into that kind of budget item. One thing I was looking at in here, page, and that is where we used them for recruitment. We owed portion of money for the,
10%, and 10 annual salary. I have a question about that as well.
and so my main question here is, I'm aware, working in the human resources world, a good recruiter is extremely valuable. However, there's a lot of positions we hire for where we need their recruiting services and we can handle that internally. I just want to make sure that if we do internal hiring, that we do not owe them that 10% the candidates projected, because a lot of the basic work, we're not a large area, you don't get nearly as much. Someone who's posted a lot of jobs on a lot of different platforms. If they're working on a lot of these larger national platforms, yeah, they might use a lot of people, but they're not gonna end up working here. Whereas we just go around locally, we will work. So I just want to make sure that we are not planning on exclusively using them for recruiting and only using it when we need more specialized recruiters.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's at our discretion on how we utilize that, so. And that's why it's in there, so if we do need it, yeah, we can utilize it. So far, we've been successful only for our, public works employees and that kind of stuff, so, I would expect us to use that process. And then, if we're not doing candidates that we want, then, or any candidates at all, then I would probably something that we discuss.
So this is pay as you go, so we can use as we want or need, and it doesn't require large assessment for the work budget.
Correct. There's a few things that I would like to get addressed. One being personnel manual and going through that process. But additionally, I have a list, but I don't know if you guys, my recommendation for my dollar here would be over 10,000.
Jump in here. I was on part of the selection committee on city manager Reed and finance director Michelson at working human resources. And just through my own experience, when you move to a new service or a new agency like this, there is going to be a little bit more money spent initially, and then it'll settle down. Because as city manager Reed already mentioned, they're going to need to redo a lot of manuals, and then there's also going to be a lot of files that will need to be digitized, sent to them for review. But once that initial review and setup period is over, then it'll drop to kind of a normal pace.
And you would barely know a lot about HR, so that's good. That's all very much. Thank you. Sorry.
And then, you have a
Yeah, instead of setting a limit tonight, could we enter into the contract tonight and then request from them a work plan with the items that you need done and a proposed price so that we can see what each line items look like?
Okay, after I spoke that out loud, I thought
Thank you.
that in my head.
Yes.
That's kind of the same approach I want to have with the building official, because I have some things that I want, that I have some project-based type stuff that I want to get quoted and then make a decision on how to move forward with that.
Yeah, and I think it would be helpful to, just kind of take a look at what would be the more common daily things that they would be doing for us, because they should be able to give us kind of a ballpark. Just typically my experience with on-call contracts is I ask them for the work plan and they'll just give me those line items, so that way we know exactly how each one costs. And if we go, hey, we have funding this year, yeah, we can do all of those 5 things. If we only have a certain amount of funds, we can only do 3 of the 5 and then slowly, chip away at that. So, thank you.
just because we skipped over this, I just want to touch on this in the background, because we jumped right into the contract, and we pushed it back in the last meeting. I wanted to go over this with the council and also with the community, just kind of the process we went through to narrow it down to this particular group. There were, I believe we had 5 or 6 respondents, 5. There was one wanted to charge us hundreds of thousands of dollars, and it was really weird. And then on the other end, we had someone who wanted to charge us $22 an hour. And I have absolutely no idea what kind of human resources support or skills you can get for $22 an hour. It just blows my mind. Someone who works in that field. So really, we narrowed it down to 2 groups. There was this group and another group. as the finalists because they were reasonable in price, offered fairly broad, services, most of which we needed. We contacted the two groups, interviewed both of them, and they were both pretty competitive with each other. The one big knockaway from the other group is that pretty much everyone who worked for that other group had other jobs and they were just doing this as a secondary thing. And we actually, the first interview we had with them, they were and we wanted a group that had, this is what they do, they're their own company, this is where they work. And they were a lot, their responsivity of this group was a lot more than the other ones.
I remember the question we got from the first time around was that the amount for travel, was the travel part of it, the percentage on the travel?
That was for the planning, that was for one of the planning groups. This group, this HR firm, I don't see them ever traveling.
Okay, so
I think
they're-
everything's
okay,
gonna be
okay.
remotely.
Okay.
Everything's gonna be remote, they're based in a different state.
Oh, yeah.
So they will be, yeah, they will not be traveling everything, which in the HR world is pretty. Right, Councilor Vice Mayor Brian,
Thank you. Appreciate moving it into our standard contract. We think it is an immense improvement. I think I understand a little better how it works. I was concerned about the 10% improvement, but I think that makes sense that if there's any particular project that's going to cost more than a certain amount, we bring it to council and whether we want to do it or not. It does look like they have pretty competitive rates. I want to discuss agreement administrator, because it doesn't state here, I guess maybe it's in the motion. Well, it's page 50 of our agenda packet, page 6 of the contract, item 9, agreement administrator. Sounds like that's just the, agent of the city appointed to interact with them. As city council, we have one employee, we don't do a ton of HR work, but I was wondering if this is something that, if we needed consultation as a council, we could also utilize the service.
Yeah, I mean, it works for the city, so.
Yeah, we could.
Okay. So, can we clarify with them, maybe the mayor and the city manager are the people they, it's defined as agreement administrator.
yeah, it doesn't list any particular party.
Yeah, it says we can designate it, so I just think while we're here, let's not bring it back to designate it, just
Make it as part of the motion.
okay. Could you give me a sense of what the different hourly, I'm surprised there's so many different ones, especially since they're very similar. I appreciate them breaking that down, but do we have any estimate on the cost? Like, as you guys were selecting someone?
Well, I mean, this is like any professional service where you're gonna, oftentimes most questions are gonna be able to be billed at the lower rate, because they're gonna be generalists. Especially, going back to a lot of that stuff that's needed to be done up front, most of that work can be done through the people who are billed at lower rates. And then when we've done a quick review, I want people to find the rates.
Comment?
All right, any other further questions before opening up public comment? All right, with that, I will open up this item for public comment. Same rules as before, 3 minutes, 30 seconds, 3 minutes, 30-second warning. And with that, if anyone would like to come up to the podium and make a comment on this item, Bill first.
Bill Brush.
All right, anyone on Zoom, please go to reactions tab and raise your hand. All right, seeing no public comment for this item, I will close public comment.
Motion to approve professional services agreement with Accessible HR and authorize city manager or mayor to sign.
Second, we got a date, designate this one.
Oh, amend the motion to also read for city manager or mayor to sign and act as designated representative of the city.
Second.
All right, it has been moved and seconded, we'll do roll call on this one, since it does have financial implications.
Councilmember Casey.
Aye.
Councilmember Brian.
Aye.
Councilmember Blake.
Aye.
Councilmember Tyson.
Aye.
And Mayor Fennel.
Aye. All right, that passes. All right,
He's on the street, he's on the way.
Yes.
thank you.
Thank you.
All right, with that, we will move on to 11, item number 11, new business. We have 3 items. We'll start with item number A, approved county bus shelter installation and encroachment of city right of way.
Mayor and council, we received an encroachment permit from the county for the buses and or the bus stops. And they've asked to install more locations. And so we're bringing this forward because these are permanent installations. It's not necessarily something we're going to want to do right away. So we're bringing the council to ensure that we're okay with those locations and
So just checking here, these are going to be
Dollar General.
stage, well, or I was saying stage stops.
Yes.
Yeah.
So just to review, there's a proposal for one at Dollar General, one at the Coffee Shack, and one at Paperless Lodge.
Right.
Which I.
And there's pictures in the package, where their location is.
And there's also a representative from the county on our Zoom call, and there's a lot of any questions.
Okay.
And then the coffee shop and the Eagles Lodge, so they're just directly across the street from each other, they're just taking people up in their directions. All right, any other questions? All right, with that, I will open up this item to public comment, 3 minutes, 30-second warning, and feel free to. Seeing no one in person and no one on Zoom, I will close public comment on this item.
So I'll make a motion to approve the proposed county bus shelter installations and encroachment of city right of way, and just thank you to Stage for putting these in, especially at the Dollar General, just because that is a very frequent stop for people listening.
And I do want to second that.
All right, there's no feedback on this, for that. All those in favor? Aye. Passes.
Thank you, Angie.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Move on to item number D, review and approve building official contract for professional services.
All right, Mayor and council, so we had put out the RFP building official. We received two submissions. One we essentially disqualified for not meeting all the requirements. And also they were quite a bit more expensive. And so before you are presenting DevCom or Development Compliance Solutions, I have Leo here. He is now acting as our interim until the contract's approved. And with this, there is an uptick in expense from what we used to be at. And kind of outlines there in the second paragraph of the staff report. What's proposed for on-site hours is Monday, Wednesday, Thursday from 2 to 5 p.m. And then that cost is $1,305 a week. And then an additional 4 hours a week available Monday through Friday for emails, phone calls, and correspondence. So Leo's been out and about in the community for the last week, kind of getting us caught up. I guess it's been almost 2 weeks, hasn't it? Getting us caught up on some things that have just been lingering. And the best of the response since then for moving forward. So we do know that we will have to do a fee adjustment, and part of one of the projects last few years, probably the fee study, bring back to the council that future meeting.
All right, any questions?
I like that.
All right. Seeing none, no questions from here, I will open this item up for public comment. Same rules as the other items. 3 minutes, 30 seconds.
Come up if you guys have any questions.
And then, or I was going to do public comment now, if you remember this public, and then you can come up and then you can have, you guys are.
You might have a question.
But you might stay there, because if anyone would like to make comment on this, please come up. All right, and seeing no public comment on this item, I will close public comment for this evening. So if you want to come up, yes.
Should be on.
Good, Mayor and council.
Leo,
Is it on? Push it
I'd like to introduce myself. I'm Leonardo Di Paolo. I'm the owner of Development Client Solutions. We are in Northern California, which is based out of Chico, so we just serve the North State. Give you clarification of questions you have or anything concerns or questions you'd like me to share with you, I'm happy to try to answer those.
Here, I have one question on the travel expense, compensation. I just wanted to clarify that there wouldn't be mileage for going to inspections within the city of Dunsmuir.
When we baked it all, everything's baked in, we figure flat fee, if you guys think most efficient way to do it. Get the most bang for your buck that way, and we thought that we can surprises. Everything we have on the outside time is baked into that, that's why we don't walk around on the outside stuff as well, just was very predictable. I just spent 8 hours, 2 hours, like going back and forth, really kind of averaged out, seemed to work pretty well with small jurisdictions. Stuff really, really for jobs, and I think it was the best that way. We also have the hourly stay and whatnot for specialty stuff, as that may align to the breadth of, for example, a cast, but accessibility stuff. We call that. Well, we also have different stuff that is outside the norm. We have that in there. This is your favorite stuff. This is time.
So the travel's just there in case.
We have a special account we can deal with, or we have something like that, we want to have it in there just to make sure it's awesome.
Totally understand. Yeah, I like the flat rate structure. It does occur to me that in our town, sometimes those hours are way too much. Currently, they don't look like quite enough, but it was kind of a good thing.
That's fair, I can't do it. Really, what I think I can look at your MOU and salary on that. And so that they really half of what they need up there. Really, that's frustrating. Sometimes. Also, I really want to make sure we have something defined in the front end. Jobs are pretty easy to work with up there, and really there's more flexibility in here that really is what's shown in this. Just because I want to make sure we have something very defined. There's a guy that can come up that we want to force them to stop it here on the way up there. It's not that rigid. I just felt we needed to have something defined to get it going, and then the flexibility kind of comes as time. It's trusted growth. Flexibility.
Okay. I think I understand that. I like the flat rate side of it. So if it's slow, these hours are way too much. I'm sure there's actually a lot of stuff we can do to improve our building process, but it'll probably all work itself out because there will be weeks where we do.
One of the things that I think is slow in this.
Yes.
Handle with the normal people outside of our so we just have a jurisdiction. Or adjacent. Check as well.
You do your own plan check in-house?
Yeah, we have one, yeah. We have a staff of 14, we got 5 full-time and 9 part-time. Both of our engineers and staff are part-time, we do most of the time. So that's all.
Okay. And then, is it, practically speaking, is it going to be 1 or 2 individuals that will be mostly on our
We have
team?
one of myself, and something as well, and just down there. We actually don't. So we spread it out to 5 days of it. Sure, like, there's definitely time to scale.
That means that you won't necessarily have to be traveling all the time to take that to somebody right here. Is that right? Or would you normally expect?
No, we'll have someone coming up from just north of Reading on a regular basis. Myself, I'll come up with yeah, I mean, ideally, if we can pick up the work, I'd love to hire someone locally. Because it's always nice to have someone around. There is some benefit to having someone.
The building official is your company, so there
Well,
was something
request
more.
from my company, I will be the acting building official for you, before I have that by law, so I'll be there on 4 hours after we do the tracking. You're not coming up short.
Okay. Well, on that note, I appreciate you coming on board today. Look forward to supporting this.
Anything else? Great, thank you very much.
Thank you. Move to approve.
Second,
Are we doing a single motion, or, because there are two suggested motions?
We do have two motions, one to,
I'll do the first one then.
All right, so we're gonna do them separately.
I move, okay, let me just read it.
I need to ask a question.
Motion to approve professional services agreement with Development Compliance Solutions and authorize the city manager to conduct a fee study for adoption at a future council meeting, and motion to approve budget amendment for general fund 508 building inspection expense, item 7,300 professional services, 210,000, 225,000.
second,
All right, it has been moved and seconded, roll call.
Councilmember Daisy.
yes.
Councilmember Brian.
Aye.
Councilmember Deutsch.
Yes,
Councilmember Heisler.
I think I have to abstain.
that's a good point.
Abstain, Heisler, and Mayor Plummer.
Aye.
Motion passed.
There's 4.
All right, item passes. All right, and with that, oh, wait, no, we have item number C, and, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
Nice to meet you.
Welcome to the party.
All right, with that, we'll move on to item number C, discussion of code enforcement policies.
Mayor and Council, so I put together this memorandum to kind of cover some different aspects of code enforcement and how we approach it. There's been an influx of complaints and discussion throughout the community. I felt it was probably appropriate to kind of re-engage the council and look at how do you want to approach it, which is kind of the first section, and then we can base it on each different section of what we enforce, and then towards the end of that kind of a recommendation on who enforces it. What that looks like. So I guess the first section, I'll read it. Currently, our code enforcement is handled by the community service liaison position with support from the building official and sheriff's department. Now with the onboarding of the building official, some clarity from the council on the direction will help in our ongoing enforcement efforts. Right now, our enforcement efforts are what I would call a proactive approach towards enforcement. While this approach has, for the most part, been effective in the past, the efforts have not come without controversy. Due to this, we'll lower some alternative approaches towards enforcement. So I kind of laid them out there. Proactive enforcement requires a constant effort at a full-time capacity and can cause controversy and political instability. Proactive education, compliance-based approach. I like to emphasize the education part in compliance, right? It's requires constant effort, continuous planning, education, communication. It requires a bit more of a soft approach to solution-based compliance. And then the next one, the compliance-driven enforcement approach, or complaint-driven enforcement approach. Part-time effort could be an additional duty of another staff, of other full-time staff. It's still going to be controversial if you're not looking for compliance only. And then the last one is complaint-driven education, compliance-based approach. It's most likely a part-time effort and could be a portion of other duties, and it requires planning, communication, education by step. So I'd like to first kind of have a little discussion about what is the council's philosophy based on these different approaches and how would they like to move forward in that aspect.
Question.
Just to clarify, is Dan doing the fire code enforcement?
Yeah, I think I've got it down on there.
Okay.
And I was just kind of, Leo can do fire code, but Dan is starting to do it.
All right, any other questions right now?
We have time to talk to people.
So on that note, I also kind of feel that this would be a good kind of running item for the next meeting or two.
Yeah,
And I
I'm
also,
okay with that. I just wanted to start the discussion so we can.
I make a motion that we table this item.
Well, you have to go to public comment.
yeah, we'll have to do public comment first, but I do want to add one more thing too, because I think it might be good to get, obviously,
Insight.
have us talk to people and also have, one reason I said the next meeting, 2 meetings, is then we can get input from the 3 of us who are staying on, 2 who are leaving, and the 2 who are coming on. And we can kind of get a rare opportunity for us to to get more than just 5 of our opinions on this next discussion.
And it also gives us time to talk to people.
Exactly. So, with that, I'll open this up to, public comment, unless anyone else has any just quick clarifying questions or questions that they feel would be, good to get out there before, and we go to public comment.
I just want to clarify that, city council, in my time here, has never picked from the buffet of enforcement options. And, I take it, the city manager, you're the one saying what the enforcement method is currently, and you want some more direction from us as you move forward there. It's not as if we've made a choice one over the other. I agree with, it's a good way to kind of compartmentalize it.
Yeah, I was trying to just lay it out so the council can have some decision points on what your philosophy is and how you want me to move forward with that and, implement the program. Just because we have had quite a bit of controversy and I want to make sure.
Quite a bit.
The council
Yeah.
is.
The one thing that I wanted to kind of restate from before when we brought this up, originally with the building official situation is that I was brought up by, I don't know if keep it, but member of the police force, and I was taught that the way you deal with people in the public is to treat them with respect and assume that they're going to work with you if they have problems and questions. So that's kind of my spirit of things. That's what I think is best for the community at the same time. So that's what I just want to get those words in as often as I can before people.
Okay. All right, with that, I will open this up to public comment. Same rules, 3 minutes, 30-second warning. People in first, and if anyone would like to make a comment on Zoom, follow.
All right, David, 5906 Castle Avenue. I want some explanation on all court enforcement activities are supported by right sovereign law. I have no idea what that means. I don't think it's acceptable, but I would like some clarification.
Thank you. All right, and any other public comment this evening? Seeing none, I will close public comment on.
I make a motion to table.
I can comment on that.
Yeah.
So, I can see your mic, I gotta speak in the microphone too. So, Dwight, to address your question, Right Serving Law is the name of the law firm that we have contracted to conduct code enforcement activities.
I know that.
Thanks, I know that too. And it used to be Curtis Wright and that partnership.
Yeah.
Firm, and so split up, and so it's now Wright.
Where did this enter from?
And so they're now Wright, well, if we can discuss it more, right? Since public comment is closed. Since public comment is closed, right?
It's still public comment, I still got a couple minutes, right?
No, we
No.
don't.
Public, I closed.
Oh, you
closed it.
I'm sorry.
But, well, I'm more than happy to discuss it in just a minute here. And with that,
I make a motion to table this item until the next meeting or the meeting after until we get all of our ducks in a row.
right?
Second.
It has been moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, I'm tabled, and we're on to future agenda items. Well,
I would like to respond to Mr. Arth and move that we have a report on the status of abandoned and distressed building ordinances, including status of who has been inspected, who's paying their bills.
I'll second his request.
okay.
If we're gonna do that, I'd like to see a closed session, as we can discuss any potential litigation involved.
I would agree with that because a lot of that stuff is in motion.
I understand, that's great. I move then to make it closed session. There we go.
All right. Okay, anything else?
Actually, I would like to, not make the Siskiyou County Economic Development Council wait any longer. I think our budget is a lot better than, finance committee was worried about. Going to do it, so it was good to enter that MOU with them. Next meeting.
I'll second.
All right, and then I will move to adjourn.